Is Ashton Hall natty or not?
They should think I'm on some type of enhancement drug.
See, before he got famous for doing his morning routine, he posted about his 3-year transformation where he gained 35 pounds of muscle, which isn't really possible without steroids.
Picture this. It's 3:53 a.m., pitch black outside, and you're tearing tape off your mouth, brushing your teeth with high-end bottled water, then plunging your face into a bowl of ice before sunrise hits. Sounds extreme, right? That's Ashton Hall's morning ritual, and it somehow pulled close to 1 billion views. But behind the icy stunts and banana facials was a backstory way more complicated than a simple fitness trend. Before he became the internet's routine king, Ashton had his eyes locked on the NFL. Back in 2014, he was a running back at Alcorn State, dead serious about going pro. Growing up, people told him he was special, that the league was basically calling his name. Then reality checked in. His entire college stat sheet, 6 carries for 8 yards. Not 800, not 80, just 8. That's the kind of number that makes scouts look the other way. The dream collapsed fast. Years later, he admitted it straight up. He missed his moment. A lot of people would have gone quiet after that. Ashton didn't. He switched lanes completely. Out went the football identity, in came scripture and strength training. He reshaped himself into a faith-driven fitness coach, preaching discipline like it was law. He pushed the idea that nothing good happens after 8 p.m. Early nights, earlier mornings, no excuses. His formula was simple: pray, sleep, wake up before everyone else, lift heavy, repeat. That became his message.
I can't help anybody else. That is why I've shared my morning routine, because this is how I've jumped over that hurdle. So a lot of people will see in my past, I had a lot of potential, but I couldn't lock in. You know what I'm saying? I passed over the opportunity. Poor, P-O-O-R, right? Passed over opportunities repeatedly, right? And I got tired of passing over opportunities. So I had to make a change. And this was me making my change. Changing my morning routine changed my entire life.
He started posting daily workouts, balcony push-ups, living room squats. Those "join me on this 30-day challenge" style videos. No wild edits, no crazy production, just consistency and grind. At first, people respected it. Beginners flooded the comments saying the routines pushed them past their limits. Great workout day 2, and I'm already sore. Thanks for this challenge. That steady support built momentum. Slowly, the followers stacked up. For 4 years straight, he stayed locked in. No disappearing acts, no random breaks. Rain, holidays, whatever. It didn't matter. He kept posting. It wasn't only about fitness anymore. He was crafting an image, disciplined, focused, unbreakable. Eventually, that image paid off. He crossed 1 million followers, flipping his story from overlooked athlete to online inspiration. But deep down, workouts alone weren't going to keep that spotlight forever. His content started feeling dry, and even Ashton admitted he felt boxed in, so he cranked everything up. It stopped being just about fitness and turned into a full-blown flex. Luxury cars in the driveway, tailored suits, assistants cooking his meals. The message quietly shifted. It wasn't just grind and discipline anymore. It became grind hard, stay locked in, and maybe one day you'll live like this. Then he dropped the video that flipped the internet upside down, the morning routine. Over the top, dramatic, and polished like a movie trailer. It kicks off at exactly 3:53 a.m. Ashton rips off mouth tape like he survived some self-imposed survival test, yet somehow he's already camera ready. Clean haircut, perfect angles, lighting on point. Next scene, brushing his teeth with Saratoga bottled water instead of tap. Like regular water wasn't elite enough. And here's where it gets wild. Searches for Saratoga water exploded, over 1,000% spike. Analysts later claimed the buzz added nearly $1 billion to the company's value. One face dunk and the stock world started smiling. But the routine kept escalating. At 4 a.m., he's on the balcony doing push-ups and squats that looked more like a performance than a workout. By 4:38, he's meditating. At 4:39, he's journaling. People joked he just wrote "I am him" on repeat. Another dramatic sip of Saratoga. Then came the moment everyone remembers, the giant bowl of ice water. He plunges his face in like he's sealing a pact with the algorithm.
This guy's morning routine is fake. See, Ashton Hall is going viral for dunking his face in ice water and rubbing banana peels on his face at 5 a.m., but there's 3 things to prove that he's lying. There's parts of the video where you can see the sun out at 6 a.m. even though he lives in Florida where the sun comes out at 7. 11, but that's not all. When he goes to his computer to work, he says,
Bro, we gotta go ahead and get in at least 10,000.
but if you look closely, there isn't a reflection in his eyes, meaning the computer is off and he isn't actually talking to anyone. The cherry on top is when he jumps in the pool and you can see the time change from 7:36 a.m. to 7:40, which means he stays in the air for 4 whole minutes, and this is what he had to say about it.
I was really in the air for 4
That single dunk sparked a flood of parodies, reaction videos, and non-stop memes across every platform. Original word count, 360. Rewritten word count, 312. Even Mr. Beast jumped in, tweeting that he overslept and missed his morning routine. That should have boosted the joke, but instead it kind of flattened it. Nothing slows down internet humor faster than a massive creator forcing their way into it. Still, Ashton kept going. By 7:30, he's poolside. At 7:36, he lines up the shot. At 7:40, he finally hits the water. Viewers joked, bro was in the air for 4 straight minutes. The timing felt unreal. Like gravity took a coffee break. Then came the banana scene. He peels it, takes a bite, and starts rubbing it on his face like it's luxury skincare. People didn't know how to react. Was it a beauty hack, some deep symbolism, or just pure content chaos? No one had answers. And he wasn't done. He throws on a full designer outfit, pocket square crisp, looking ready for a fashion shoot, only to dunk his face in ice water again. At that point, this wasn't about discipline. It felt like hours of dramatic flexing dressed up as self-improvement. The wild part? It worked. The internet couldn't look away. Some people laughed at him, others laughed with him, but everybody shared it. Overnight, Ashton became the routine guy, the man who turned brushing his teeth with luxury water into a viral monster. But trends cool off fast. Once the memes slowed down, people started zooming in. That's when the cracks showed. Internet fame shines bright, but it fades quick. For Ashton, the glow dimmed almost as fast as it appeared. When the hype settled, the digging began. Reddit threads popped up asking what people really thought of him. The responses weren't kind. Users pointed out the assistants cooking his meals, the drivers in luxury cars, the upscale dinners, the designer-packed closets. The image of pure discipline started looking more like a carefully staged highlight reel. That kind of lifestyle makes sense if you're clearing 7 figures a year. But let's be honest, online fitness coaching usually doesn't fund assistants, drivers, and a non-stop luxury setup. The overall reaction was blunt. It looked staged. Ashton wasn't just pushing discipline anymore. He was selling a dream. Follow my routine and you won't just get abs. You'll get money, status, and the high life. Then came the bigger question, the one nobody could ignore. Ashton proudly labeled himself a natty gym, slang for a natural athlete who doesn't use steroids or performance boosters. He wore that title like a trophy, but seasoned lifters online weren't convinced at all. The numbers raised eyebrows. He's about 5 feet 10 inches, sitting around 219 pounds, lean, visible abs, and packed with that full, round muscle look usually seen on magazine covers. To trained eyes, something felt off. People weren't whispering either. They were straight up calling it questionable.
But there were 3 other things to prove his muscles are fake. Firstly, he used to post workout videos showing him doing HIIT workouts, which don't really tend to grow muscles and actually help people lose weight. But there's more. Secondly, in his routine videos, he only ever shows himself doing cardio and very rarely going to the gym. Finally, fitness legend Greg Doucette looked through Ashton Hall's routine to find out if he's natty or not, and this was his conclusion.
If you think this guy's natural, well, you're probably in the 5% of people who also thought the Liver King was.
One coach even broke it down with hard math. He looked at Ashton's height, weight, and estimated body fat percentage. The result, a muscle index pushing past 27. For context, most elite natural bodybuilders grind for years and never hit that level, even at their absolute best. And if Ashton was leaner than the estimate, that index would climb past 28. Translation, not impossible, just extremely rare. The odds of staying fully natural at that size and sharpness are slim, like hitting the jackpot twice in 1 week slim. So yeah, technically possible, but if real money's on the table, most people aren't betting on natty. Online, the reaction was ruthless. It wasn't light doubt, it was full conviction. One lifter put it blunt, this dude looks like he's been running a gram of gear a year for years. His arms, especially his forearms, got called out non-stop as the giveaway. That kind of thickness and vein detail doesn't usually come from balcony push-ups at 4 a.m. Ashton never clearly admitted to using anything. Instead, he danced around it. When pushed, he denied it. But then he'd say stuff like, people should think I'm on something because my workouts aren't normal. That's influencer talk for, I won't confirm it, but connect the dots yourself.
Well, Ashton Hall is scamming again. It's kind of like the Dexa scam, only it's the Ashton Hall scam. he pretends, makes believe that he's actually doing these morning routines. And while he's at it, he convinces hundreds of people to hire him to give them their hard-earned money, thousands of dollars, only to not do what he's promised.
Here's the issue. Most people don't actually care if a fitness creator uses performance enhancers. A huge chunk of the industry does. The real problem starts when someone looks into the camera, promises they're natural, and sells coaching programs built on that claim. When you tell people they can look exactly like you just by copying your routine, that's where trust gets shaky. People have seen this story before. Just look at what happened with Liver King. The internet does not play when it feels misled. Ashton started getting compared to him fast and not in a good way. And it didn't stop with the physique debate. Once critics started digging, everything felt questionable. His workouts, basic moves anyone could find online for free. His advice, short motivational lines pulled from the same self-help playbook everyone's heard before. His discipline, a list of rigid rules presented like secret knowledge. Sleep early, wake up earlier, pray, lift, eat clean, repeat. That's solid structure, sure, but it's not revolutionary. One Reddit user said it straight. The routine is random, makes no sense. The lifestyle's fake. The message is fake. The guy is fake. That opinion wasn't staying in one thread either. It was spreading, especially the more Ashton leaned into the image instead of clearing the air. He leaned hard into that whole, "I'm disciplined, you're just lazy" persona. The more he acted untouchable, the more people wanted to see him humbled. At that stage, though, the criticism was still background noise compared to the viral hype. People joked about him, sure, but he was winning. Brands were watching. His coaching sales were climbing. Followers kept flooding in. From the outside, it looked unstoppable. But the internet flips fast. Admiration can switch to embarrassment overnight, especially when your brand stands on shaky ground. If the morning routine was Ashton's glossy highlight reel, his coaching business was the messy behind-the-scenes footage nobody signed up for. While he was dunking his face in ice water for views, he was also charging clients serious money for high-ticket coaching. On paper, it sounded elite. Personalized workouts, custom meal plans, private one-on-one guidance that would transform your life. He sold it like a golden ticket. He even posted, "We accepted 3 new clients yesterday. We'll be documenting their transformations, taking a few more this weekend. Who's next?" It felt exclusive, like you had to be chosen. The price, up to $10,000. $10,000 for online fitness coaching. To put that in perspective, that kind of money could cover a top-tier trainer, a registered nutrition expert, home equipment, and still leave change. But plenty of people trusted the image and paid up. Then the complaints started rolling in. Clients claimed the custom plans were basic templates, generic meal guides, standard workout PDFs with little to no personalization. The promised one-on-one calls? Many said they never happened. Some reported getting a single Zoom session before communication slowed to a crawl. Others said they were placed into massive group calls with dozens of strangers. Instead of focused coaching, it felt like surface-level motivation. Picture dropping serious savings expecting private mentorship, only to end up in a crowded video call, listening to recycled advice that didn't match your goals. That's when the whispers turned louder. The routine might have looked sharp on camera, but off camera, the cracks were getting harder to hide. That's what people were handing over up to $10,000 for. One client said he paid $4,000 for direct access to Ashton and got 1 call. Just 1. Another shared that his 21-year-old friend poured nearly all his savings into the program and never saw real guidance or results. The money was gone, and the support never showed up. There were also claims about questionable transformation photos, before and after shots that critics said didn't clearly connect to verified clients. When people checked his website, it didn't inspire confidence either. Cheap-looking stock images, awkwardly cropped photos, random motivational quotes pasted everywhere like an old social media page. For someone showcasing luxury cars and designer outfits, the site didn't match the image at all. The whole setup looked rushed. Even some of the featured results felt underwhelming. One example showed an 8-pound loss over 6 months. That's steady progress for a beginner, sure, but not exactly the dramatic premium-level change you'd expect for that price tag. It didn't match the bold promises. As complaints stacked up, other creators started weighing in. Fitness coach Greg Doucette posted a video reading messages from alleged clients. The stories sounded similar. High costs, big promises, limited follow-through. People said they felt misled, not motivated.
Tell me that this guy wakes up at 4:07 in the morning and takes a bath and somebody then passes him some togi water while doing red light therapy for just his face. Red light therapy That's actually beneficial, but why not do it for your entire body?
Then came the backlash response. Instead of addressing concerns publicly or offering refunds, Ashton reportedly sent legal warnings to critics. When a creator named Nick shared screenshots from people claiming they were scammed, Ashton demanded the video be removed and denied the accusations. By then, though, public opinion had shifted. Online audiences are quick to judge when trust feels broken. The combination of bold, natural claims, premium-priced coaching, and unanswered complaints created a storm. At this point, Ashton wasn't viewed as pure inspiration anymore. He became spectacle. Viewers weren't tuning in for discipline tips. They were watching to see what would unravel next. Every new claim faced instant scrutiny. Every flex was questioned. The same viral energy that built him up was now circling, waiting for another crack to show. Every time Ashton tried to flex, people came back with screenshots and timelines. The receipts were ready. He wasn't seen as a serious coach anymore. To a growing crowd, he was turning into a punchline. And the louder he got, the bigger the audience became. By this point, the shift was obvious. The inspirational fitness mentor image was fading, replaced by meme status. And if anyone still had doubts, what happened next pushed things over the edge. Ashton wasn't moving quietly. He was loud about everything. And when you're loud online, people wait for you to slip. One of the first big cracks showed up during a strange back and forth with IShowSpeed. Ashton started boasting about his athleticism, challenging Speed to a race and claiming it wouldn't even be competitive. He warned him to back out to avoid embarrassment. It sounded like playground talk, except it was playing out in front of millions. Then, the race actually happened. 4 runs, head-to-head, and Ashton lost. Every single time. Not just close losses either, clear defeats. The same guy preaching elite discipline got outrun by a streamer known more for high-energy gaming than track training. The clips spread fast. Instead of brushing it off and showing sportsmanship, Ashton pushed excuses and kept talking big. That reaction didn't help. It made the moment louder. The tougher he acted, the more the internet replayed the losses. Short clips of bold claims followed by race footage turned into easy viral content. But the roasting didn't stop with memes. Even professionals weighed in. Dr. Mike, a well-known medical creator on YouTube, reviewed Ashton's marathon-style morning routine. His take was blunt. He said an effective routine should be efficient. Wake up, get moving, train with focus. Not hours of journaling, dunking, and staged rituals. He called it unnecessary time drain. Social media piled on. One user joked that if people kept hyping the routine, Ashton would start a podcast, launch expensive courses, maybe even push questionable online projects. The comment was meant as sarcasm, but it hit close to what critics were already saying. By now, the pattern felt clear to many viewers. Big claims, big prices, big performances, and every time Ashton leaned further into the persona, the scrutiny doubled. The same confidence that once built his brand was now fueling the backlash. Online fame can lift someone fast, but it can flip just as quickly when the crowd decides the act doesn't match the reality. By now, Ashton's image wasn't just cracked, it was in pieces. People stopped calling him disciplined. The new word floating around was embarrassing. The natty debates were still alive, but they had turned into straight jokes. Most critics were convinced, and every denial only added more fuel to the laughter. And that banana moment, it never left him. Every serious motivational post got buried in comments like, "Where's the banana?" and "Don't forget the skincare, bro." Once the internet turns you into a running gag, it's hard to shake it. The punchline sticks. The toughest part? Support was fading fast. Influencers were openly questioning his business. Former clients were sharing their experiences. Coaches were reacting with side eyes. Even casual viewers who didn't follow fitness closely started seeing the disconnect. He went from viral curiosity to public cautionary tale in record time. Going viral for being odd is one thing. Sticking around long enough for people to question your credibility is another. Ashton ended up with both labels. Instead of being remembered as the ultra-disciplined routine guy, he became known for losing the race to IShowSpeed, facing coaching backlash and sparking non-stop cringe reactions. Internet fame works like a trampoline. You bounce high, fast, and everyone's watching. But when momentum shifts, you drop just as quickly. And in Ashton's case, the fall felt dramatic. After the race losses, the legal threats, and the repeated "I'm natural" claims, public opinion had shifted hard. The billion-view routine that once boosted him became material for parody edits. Clips of the ice dunk got remixed into comedy skits. The luxury bottled water toothbrush scene turned into an ongoing joke. Even the brand that benefited from the viral spike quietly moved on as the noise changed tone. Meanwhile, Ashton kept pushing forward like nothing had changed. But online audiences don't forget easily. Once trust slips, every new post gets dissected, every flex gets questioned, and the persona that once looked powerful now looked forced. In the end, the routine that built the spotlight became the same spotlight exposing every flaw. And once the crowd decides the show is over, there's no filter strong enough to fix it. Every time Ashton made a bold claim, the internet fact-checked it in real time. He promised life-changing transformations, but screenshots showed near-empty PDFs. He bragged about elite speed, then got left behind on camera. He flexed wealth, yet his website looked rushed and low budget. He swore he was natural, but critics pointed at his physique and raised eyebrows instantly. The contradictions stacked up fast, and the more they stacked, the louder the laughs got. It wasn't one single mistake that brought him down. It was the pileup. Clients felt misled. His luxury image didn't match what people were uncovering. The discipline he preached started looking like performance instead of principle. What really hurt his image was the confidence. He carried himself like nobody could question him. But once that confidence clashed with public scrutiny, it wasn't a small stumble. It was a full collapse. Online, his name shifted from motivation to mockery almost overnight. Now he's remembered less as a coach and more as a case study, a viral rise, a messy backlash, a reminder that hype without honesty fades fast. You can only flex for so long before people start digging. You can only deny things so many times before screenshots start circulating. And you can only dunk your face in ice water so often before people stop seeing discipline and start seeing a performance. Ashton built his brand on routine and control, but in the end, the narrative slipped out of his hands. So what do you think? Was this downfall inevitable? Or could he have changed the story if he had been transparent from day one? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, share it with someone who needs to see it, and subscribe for more deep dives like this.